Hey guys, we're back. The Self-Help Book Junkie, Andy, and we are still talking about The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Now this book is amazing. I thought it was really a great book, so I'm sharing with you guys my little insights from it. Let's keep going, okay? There are three motives for which we live. We live for the body, we live for the mind, and we live for the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. All are alike desirable, and no one of the three, body, mind, or soul, can live fully if either of the others is cut short of full life and expression. So I want to dive in deep a little bit what it means to live for the mind, body, and soul. I know this inherently, but to say it out loud to me just kind of hit me like, yeah, those are the three areas in our life that, when I notice when I'm talking with my friends, it's because they're neglecting one side of themselves. If I'm talking to family, it's because they're neglecting one side of themselves. Usually, like, they're talking about, oh, I'm upset, or I'm, depressed, or this isn't working out for me. It's like, okay, well, let's dig in deep to figure out what it is that you're neglecting. So let's talk about all three and what that actually looks like in terms of living for your mind, body, and your soul separately. Let's talk about the body. The body one, I think, to me, is the easiest one to identify how it is. But there are some little nuances that you can add on there. First, let's talk about, we've got exercise and nutrition. Point blank, like, I love that stuff. Are you eating healthy? Are you eating the right foods? Are you eating to help supplement any sort of deficiencies that you might have? Are you working out? And working out doesn't mean are you going to the gym? Are you doing physical activities like walking, being out in nature, swimming, going to Pilates, going to yoga, riding your bike? Are you doing stuff with your body that is pushing beyond the physical limits of just sitting there or just laying there? It can be a little bit tricky, right? Because with nutrition, you can go to an extreme. I recently saw this poor girl who passed away due to malnutrition because all she did was eat fruits and vegetables. On the outside, you would think fruits and vegetables, amazing. Too much of a good thing can often lead to bad outcomes. So it's not necessarily that you have to hyper focus on all I'm eating is fruits and vegetables. I'm only eating non-GMO, organic. I mean, those are all great things and wonderful. Sometimes you just want to eat an ice cream, and that's not bad either. Do you want to eat ice cream all day, every day, 3 times a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Probably not. But there is a balance. Same thing with exercise. Moving your body is wonderful. Getting out in nature, wonderful. But you can take it to an extreme. You can become addicted to working out. So there is a fine balance in trying to express yourself and live optimally through exercise and nutrition, and taking it to one extreme where you're not doing any of it, or you are so obsessed with it that it consumes you. So again, it's like living right down the middle. There are some people who, I'm not here to debate, the different types of diets. I'm not here to debate which exercise is better for the other. But what I am saying is that to fully live for your body, those are two facets that are really important to be able to get yourself in line. Rest and recovery is also important for your body. We know sleeping all day is not it, but we also know working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week for months on end, also not it. So I hope you're starting to see this theme where we're trying to find balance in when are we supposed to eat healthy? When are we supposed to, exercise our body? When are we supposed to rest and recover? That always comes with checking in with yourself and defining, what are my nutrition goals? What are my exercise goals? What are my rest goals? Yeah, you gotta have some rest goals. For me, I need 7 hours of sleep every night, or else I feel like a squirrel the next day. Those are the three things that are very important to consider when you are trying to live for the body. Next, we're going to talk about living for the mind. Living for the mind is an intellectual thing, but it's also a creative one. And there's a little surprise about this one too that you might not understand. First, let's talk about the intellectual. Is how are you learning? How are you exercising your brain using logic, using memory, and using creativity? Reading books is great, but that's not the only way that you can do it. You can take classes and certifications meditations, you can go to seminars. It's about exercising the brain and using it in a sense to expand your knowledge, but also exercise your logic and your reasoning skills. But also something that I have found that is very true is that you also need to be creative. You need to find an outlet that is, by some people's standard, frivolous. Now, it doesn't have to be painting or singing or something artsy. It can be as simple as running a YouTube and trying to figure that out. But it's creating something with your mind, creating something that is using your brain and your talents and leaning into that. And it's very important to be able to exercise these things, because let's look at what happens when you don't. Video games can be fun, but at a certain time, you're just kind of not using your brain anymore. You're kind of just tuning it out. You can use music for the same thing too. So it's not like just video games that I'm picking on. You can also just read books all day long. That's not healthy either, because you're not living in reality. You're living in a different reality. So trying to find an outlet for your brain is one really good and important way. So we see again that we need to find balance, not overusing the intellectual. I mean, there's also the part of people who are in school forever, who just have to learn more and more and more and then never go out into the work field because, hey, there's more to learn. I have to learn more. I have to learn more. I am very much guilty of this. I love taking certifications. I love learning about spirituality. I love reading books. I love doing that. So for me, it's very much like I have to pull myself away from that in order to live in balance and harmony. But it can happen where you are just so consumed with wanting to learn that becomes kind of an obsession. That's how you live for the mind. How do you live for the soul? Ooh, this could be its own series, but to sum it up, there is a connection, and if you're on my page, I believe in God, that there is a connection with God that you need to work on, that you need to be with. Is there such a thing as too much connection with God? Yes. And it's not really connection with God. There are people who become zealots, who become like, this is the way, it's the only way to connect with God. This is the only way that you can reach the spiritual world. And it becomes a way to feel superior. It becomes a way to look down on other people when you become too spiritual in a way. And then when you are disconnected, oftentimes you can feel alone. You can feel disconnected from the world. It's not even to say that you have to call it God, okay? I call it God because that's what I do, but how are you connecting to your inner self? Even doing something like yoga that has you pay attention to the sensations in your body is a connection to the spiritual. Meditation, a great way to connect to the spiritual. Praying, meditating, journaling. What do I say at the end of all my videos? Very important on the journey, because you're connecting to what is inside. You're connecting to the little voices in your head that are guiding you. It's coming into balance. You can have too much intellect, too much spirituality, and not be taking care of your body. That's not ideal. You can be taking care of your body and taking care of your spirit, but not learning and expanding more. You can be taking care of your body and your intellect, but devoid of any spirituality. Like, you having all three of these things combined actually lead to a wonderful and powerful life. So the fact that they're mentioning that in 1910 in this book, on a book on how to be rich, there's got to be something to it that unlocks abundance. It's a balance of living through all modalities of your body and your senses and your mind and your spirit and all your faculties, that you just become so abundant. And it's a beautiful journey. With that, you guys are going to put a link to Project Gutenberg. You can buy it on Amazon. You can get it at the library. It's called The Science of Getting Rich, and we are scientific here, okay? So we have that. I'm going to put a link to my YouTube. This is on YouTube. I'm going to put a link to my podcast and also to my book, Writing for My Life, which is about how to journal. And I hope that you guys can purchase it. Let me know what you think. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.